This are facts you didn't know about Billie Eilish. First, let's talk about something deeply personal that Billie has been dealing with since childhood. Billie has Tourette syndrome, but her condition isn't what you actually might think. She was diagnosed with Tourette's when she was just 11 years old, and her tics are quite noticeable. For years, Billie was hiding her tics and was always asking the editors to cut them out of videos during interviews. She didn't want people to see this part of her, didn't want them to judge or misunderstand what was happening. But one time, everything went absolutely wrong. Billie explained what happened during that fateful interview, saying that there was this one interview where they didn't tell her they weren't going to cut the questions out, so she was sitting there answering the questions, and when they started asking her questions, she couldn't control her tics. And sadly, some people in the comments thought Billie was just making faces or being disrespectful, when in reality, it was her Tourette's tics showing through. But in real life, most of her tics are actually very subtle, and you'd probably never notice them even if you were talking to Billie in person.
I wiggle my ear back and forth and raise my eyebrow and click my jaw and do that and like flex my arm here and flex this arm and flex these muscles. These are things you would never notice, like if you're just having a conversation with me.
It was always a very complex topic for Billie to discuss publicly, and yet she's happy she was brave enough to share it with her fans. Most importantly, Billie made it clear that Tourette's is a part of her life, but she surely doesn't want it to be the main part of her character or how people define her. She didn't want that to define who she was as a person or as an artist. She didn't want it to be like Billie Eilish, the artist with Tourette's, rather than Billie Eilish, the artist who happens to have Tourette's. What if I told you that Billie never grew out of her childhood fears? Despite being this confident superstar on stage, Billie is still afraid of surprisingly normal things.
I don't want to go outside when it's dark alone. That freaks me out. I still, when I get in my bed at night, I still jump from 2 feet away because I'm still afraid something's gonna grab me from underneath it. I'm still afraid of my closet.
Which is such a relatable and human fear that many of us can understand. And while shooting the music video for her hit song, You Should See Me in a Crown, Billie wasn't actually afraid of spiders crawling on top of her because she even put a live spider right in her mouth. She sort of just loves making stuff that people get freaked out by, and putting a spider in her mouth was the perfect example of that. When asked about it in an interview, she confirmed that she thought the spider's name was like Tom or Brad or something casual like that.
Love making stuff that people get freaked out by. I put a spider in my mouth.
I know, I saw that. What was the spider called? Did they?
It had a name, I think. Its name was Tom or Brad.
Speaking of fears, Billie could have easily died while shooting the cover for her album Hit Me Hard and Soft. The photo was taken in a very deep tank, and Billie was scared to death during the entire process.
No, but there's a tank in this giant place, and it was 10 feet deep.
Yeah.
And I popped my little ass in there, and I was in there for 6 hours.
For some reason that only made sense in the artistic vision, Billie decided to wear really heavy clothes and even had some weights attached to her to keep her deeply underwater for the shot. She was wearing big long pants, giant PE club shorts, a thermal long sleeve shirt, a button-up flannel, a tie, rings, arm warmers, a bracelet, and a weight strapped to her. The weight was specifically to keep her down underwater, and when asked if that idea was hers, she jokingly said that it would be so cool if she could almost die, admitting that she's done it so many times and almost died in these shoots.
Whose idea was that? Yours.
Yeah.
Guys, it would be so cool if I could almost die.
Dude, I've done it so many times. Almost died in these shoots.
Speaking of dangerous shoots, Billie said she will never use a green screen in her music videos, and since then she does all of the risky stunts by herself without the safety net of digital effects. While filming the music video for All the Good Girls Go to Hell, she wore massive wings that weighed over 70 pounds, and those wings left her with a lot of bruises all over her body. But this isn't even the hardest thing Billie had to go through in her career and personal life. Her ex-boyfriend Jesse Rutherford was an absolute creep, and their relationship had some seriously problematic aspects. Billie was his fan since she was 11 years old, but they first met when she was 16 and he was 27, which is already a concerning age gap. She talked about how surreal it felt that her life reached a point where she was not only known by a person that she thought was the hottest person alive, but that he was interested in her.
My life to a point where I not only was known by a person that I thought was the hottest alive, but pulled his ass. Are we kidding me?
After their breakup, Jesse released a very mean song about his relationship with Billie, and he even blamed her for having daddy issues in the lyrics, which is a reference to his own song called Daddy Issues. But it's also a pretty gross reference, considering that he was a 31-year-old man dating a 21-year-old woman who he first met when she was 16. Billie responded with the song Wildflower, in which she sneakily mentioned her friend Devin Carlson, who started dating Jesse right after his breakup with Billie, adding another layer of betrayal to the situation. If you're enjoying these stories about Billie, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more incredible content like this. It really helps us continue bringing you these deep dives into your favorite artists. Next, did you know that Billie Eilish was almost named Pirate? Her full name is actually Billie Eilish Pirate Baird O'Connell, and there's an amazing story behind it. Eilish is actually her middle name, not her last name as many people assume. Pirate was supposed to be her actual first name, but her uncle didn't like it. Baird is her mom's last name, and O'Connell is her dad's last name. So when Billie's brother Phineas was 4 years old, he was absolutely obsessed with pirates, and when he knew he was going to have a sister, he started begging his parents to name his sister Pirate. And when Billie's parents were actually about to name her Pirate and go through with their son's wish, Billie's grandfather William suddenly passed away, and she was eventually named after him as a tribute. But Billie's parents still gave her Pirate as a middle name, so now her full government name is Billie Eilish Pirate Baird O'Connell, which is definitely one of the coolest names in the music industry. Next, people know that Billie is a generational artist, but she also holds plenty of crazy world records that most people don't know about. First, there is something that might sound impossible for an average person because Billie can fit a ukulele in her mouth, and she's done it not once, but twice. When she showed this trick on TikTok, everyone in her comments went absolutely crazy. She asked her fans if they remembered when she was 15 and fit an entire ukulele head in her mouth, and decided to see if she could do it again, admitting she very much doubted it but would try.
Do you guys remember when I was 15 and I fit an entire ukulele head in my mouth? Shall we see if I can do it again? I very much doubt it, but I shall try.
The next record is even crazier though, because Billie literally broke the internet when she added a whopping 120 million people as close friends on Instagram. This number is so huge, it's literally every third person in America, which is an insane statistic. But then, Billie Eilish became the first ever person born in the 21st century to get a #1 hit on the Billboard charts. And just when you think she couldn't possibly achieve anything more groundbreaking, she made history again by becoming the youngest musician ever to write a James Bond theme song with No Time to Die. I don't think any artist on this planet has had so many world records at such a young age, and she's still just getting started. Next fact is, even though Billie is extremely famous, people know almost nothing about her family and their background. Sometimes Billie's dad becomes a comedian when he texts her, and their conversations are hilarious.
I was talking to my friend Nat the other day, and Nat said, "You literally have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen, except for maybe your dad."
Our mom also has really beautiful eyes.
100%. Most beautiful eyes ever for two parents. Anyway, I was telling my dad this, and my dad goes, "Your mom said I have bird eyes." And then he said, "And that I look like a baby dinosaur."
Next is when people try to cancel Billie Eilish over the dumbest reasons ever imaginable. When Billie first started making music, many people didn't understand why her songs carried such deep emotions for someone so young. So Billie had to make a response defending herself.
Why are your songs so sad? And I remember hearing that and being like, what are we talking about? People seem to forget that when you are a child and a teenager, emotion is the most intense thing in the world. Everything feels like the end or the beginning. I was just talking about this with a friend, that like middle school felt like life was over. And that's how everything felt then. And so, you know, to be like, how could anyone young understand emotion? Are you stupid? That's all they have is emotion.
Next, one time, thousands of people were bullying Billie Eilish because of her weight, showing the cruel side of internet culture. In 2020, the internet showed its ugly side when people started body-shaming Billie over a single photo of her taken from a bad angle.
There's this picture of me like running from my car to my brother's front door on like 110-degree day in a tank top, and everyone's like, damn, Billie got fat. I'm like, nope, this is just how I look. You've just never seen it before.
During all these incredibly dark times, one person never stopped believing in Billie, and of course it was her mom, Maggie. Their bond became a literal lifeline, and Billie has been incredibly open about how her mother literally saved her life. When Billie was recording a very sad song about her darkest thoughts, her mom asked her if she was seriously talking about hurting herself, and her voice was trembling in fear for her daughter's life.
Are you seriously implying that you jump off the roof? Do you feel okay about a song like that? You don't worry about it.
This song is the reason I don't. Like, having this way of saying it instead of doing it is better.
This is the real Billie Eilish, not just the superstar, but a real person who has struggled, survived, and continues to inspire millions around the world with her honesty and authenticity. If you found Billie's story as inspiring as I did, don't forget to show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more incredible stories about your favorite artists. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.